Hi, I'm Hillary Clinton, back with a new season of my podcast, You and Me Both. On this show, I'll be talking to people I admire about one of my favorite subjects, getting things done. We'll hear from folks in positions of power, like Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, but also writers and actors and really anyone who keeps doing the work. So please join me. Listen to You and Me Both on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day to the things I wish would die, like buffets. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On his new podcast, 6 Degrees with Kevin Bacon, join Kevin for inspiring conversations with his friends and fellow celebrities who are working to make a difference in the world, like actor Mark Ruffalo.
You know, I found myself moving upstate in the middle of this fracking fight, and I'm trying to raise kids there. And my neighbor's like willing to poison my water.
Listen to 6 Degrees with Kevin Bacon on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Barber. Look at us doing it at the same time now.
It's like a race to see who can do that first.
Right? Oh, that was a beautiful cacophony of sound.
Ooh, good use of that's a 25-cent word.
25 cents? I thought you were going to say $25 word. I feel like with inflation, with inflation, we're up to $25 words. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
why, thank you.
Back when I learned it, it was 25 cents.
25 cents.
Now.
Oh, God.
$25.
Andrea, how are you?
I'm good. It's homecoming weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're right in the thick of it. My daughter Felicity she's narrowed it down to 3 dresses.
Oh.
And I'm like, you only need one, but she wants options. And so she still hasn't picked one. I refuse to go to the mall anymore. I'm like, you have plenty of great choices.
Yeah.
But I know, it's just
there are a few things that go worse than a mom and her teenage daughter going shopping for some sort of a formal dress.
Yeah.
I feel like that really rarely do you ever leave the mall and go, that was such a lovely time.
Oh,
I'm so glad we did that.
Never. I mean, and this is a different world. Like, I sound so ancient, but like
no,
now they call it HOCO, not homecoming.
Right.
And then like Felicity's like, can we get a limo? Can we do? And I'm like, why? You don't need you're a sophomore and it's home. You don't need a limo.
Oh, see, ours is not quite
it's
not
that fancy. I don't think it's that fancy. I think you save the limo for prom, like junior or senior year. That's how we did. I didn't have a limo till my senior prom. But now I don't know. I'm not ordering a limo. Okay, I'm going to drive her
I'm not
myself.
Right. Basically,
okay.
At the end of the day, no one's getting a limo. Right. I mean, we know what happens in limos. They, terrible thing.
You can get shot at.
Don't let her go to Ed DeBevick's,
Right. Yeah, Ed DeBevick's
You never
is
know.
off
Yeah,
limits.
it's just, that's it. Yeah. No restaurants.
Oh, Jodie Sweeten, you are a cautionary tale.
Oh, well, I've been told that before. Yeah, it was, it's been a little bit of a hectic week, but.
Yeah. That's right. You're back in town briefly.
Back in town, back in town briefly,
yeah.
and kids are being kids, and I really wish that life was like a Full House episode, and that within 24 minutes, the kids are like, I was wrong, and everything's better, and you're like laughing again, and it's great, and then you go out on a song. I really wish it was like that, but
that's why this show is so popular.
It's
because
true, right?
We all wish we lived in this world.
We all wish,
because real life is nothing like that. Like I've been holding grudges for years. Like they're not resolved in 24 minutes.
They're not resolved. No,
it's
certainly not
hug.
24 minutes.
No.
Right. 24 years later, you're like, I think I'm
Yes.
ready to let it go now.
Exactly.
Oh, This one threw me off though, because we went it was like a weird time jump, and we're going to get to that. But
there's like time traveling happening. So
little did we know that Danny Tanner is also Doctor Who. So yeah, that's what it is.
He's Doctor Who.
The Full House. Now, I don't know much about Doctor Who. I only know this secondhand through my best friend Celia, who is a huge Doctor Who fan.
Okay.
But I believe the TARDIS, which is the little phone box that they use, like the English-looking phone box, they go in, and that's like how like a time travel portal. I'm going to go with the Full House is similar to a TARDIS in that when you step through it, it's like, or Narnia, really, you step through and it exists in a space in which it absolutely could not, and it changes shape, and it's huge and all of that. And I think that's I didn't know that there was such a like sort of sci-fi fantasy Full House crossover.
Wow.
But I feel like I need to see the Narnia, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
The wardrobe. Yeah, it's
right, the Lion, the
wardrobe.
Witch, the Wardrobe, and the
Full House. That's
and the
it
Full
all
House
goes together.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I think you've hit on
It's
something.
the alcove. The alcove is actually the portal. Yeah,
that's the portal.
That's
that's like, that's where you go, and everything is it's not real life.
It's not real life. No,
it's like the Truman Show, but no, you're on to
see
something.
how many references we can make. Right, it's like this. No, it's more like this. No, it's just like Full House. It's just like Full House.
It's just Full House. Yep. Well, let's get into this week's episode.
Let's do it. We're way overexcited. Why was I that excited? I was who was that person that just came and inhabited my body for 5 seconds?
Because you figured out the key to. That's what we love about you.
Calm down.
Take a deep breath, Sweeten. Here we go. Today we are. Oh wait, welcome back to How Rude Tanneritos. If you're still listening, I'm Andrea Barber.
And I'm Jodie Sweeten.
And today we are discussing Season 1, Episode 12, entitled Our Very First Promo. It first aired on December 17th, 1987, and it goes a little something like this. Members of the Tanner family are thrilled when they are chosen to appear in a local promotion at Danny's TV station. But their enthusiasm subsides when they discover show business is not as glamorous as they had thought.
It's really funny watching this episode and also the next one. Like, it's a very sort of meta, like self-referential thing talking about like the business.
Oh, right,
and
right.
You know what I mean? Like there's this episode we're talking about like, you know, how to look like the perfect TV family while we're looking like the perfect TV family. Is it right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's very meta. And very confusing.
And by meta, we don't, but also clarify to everyone under like 30 years old, we don't mean the Facebook app. No, we're not referring to that. They're like, why are they talking about Facebook? That didn't exist in the 80s.
This is how we roll. But yeah,
big words today, guys. Big words.
Big word. Lots of $25 words here today. Feel free to add in your own.
Yes.
But yes, this episode is very meta. It was directed by Rich Carell. Love him so much. It was written by Jeff Franklin, Lenny Rips, and Arthur Silver. And it was guest starring me.
I know.
Yes!
Literally, when the first scene came out and it was your face, I have to laugh. I'm not even kidding. I started clapping, sitting here by myself in the office. I'm like, ah! And then I was like, oh my God, calm down. There's no one here. You're not in the audience. I was so excited.
It is a jump scare. It is a jump scare when I start the episode. And
I was like, yay! Oh my gosh. And yeah, it was your biggest fan.
I was so relieved. I was starting to fear that maybe I had just imagined all of this, like all 8 years. Because at this point, Janice Sweeten has gotten more airtime than me. So I'm happy to be back. Happy to be opening the show. And,
yes. In your yellow, fabulous outfit. You were just a little ray of sunshine.
I think I wrote that down, that exact sentence in my notes as well. So, but we'll get there.
I just wrote down that yellow outfit, though.
Oh, yes. The Kimmy Gibbler fashion has already begun.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not the only guest star this week. It is also guest starring Belita Moreno as Ronnie Gardner, the TV lady. And she's been in a ton of things. Gross Point Blank, The George Lopez Show, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Clear and Present Danger, and Perfect Strangers. Wow.
I remember her on Perfect Strangers.
You do?
Weirdly. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe
she's
I'm
very
just,
good.
Yeah. No, she was great. Although I did, when I was like, Belita Moreno, is that Is that Rita Moreno's younger sister?
Oh.
No relation.
No, we would have
Lita
known.
and Rita would be awesome.
That would be if I ever have twins. That's
Rita
what I
Belita
named them.
Moreno.
Rita Belita.
Sorry.
This poor woman. We're sorry, Belita. We apologize now.
Belita Applebaum? No, I'm sorry.
And the last guest star for this week is Courtney Ann Jang as Amanda. And I don't think she has any other credits because she was very young when she appeared on this show. So we open in the garage. What? Why are we back in the garage?
I yelled that out loud. I was like, what? Wait, what?
I had to rewind. I'm like, wait, am I on the wrong episode? What's happening?
I thought I lost it. Now, I have a question though. Was this how it was released?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It must have been because we have the air dates.
Or did they the air dates are in consecutive order,
right?
So
but we don't know
what
the
happened?
recording dates.
That's what I'm saying. The recording dates we don't know. And you know what else?
What?
Now that I think about it, so this was episode 12, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And didn't we do 13 episodes at first? Or we did 10 and then got picked up for another 13 or something. So I wonder if this was in the we'd already shot some things and maybe this was in the weird transition when we got picked up, but we had to air something that we'd already shot, but then we went and we'd already transformed Joey's room. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
It's I don't have an answer for this. I can only guess, but
make uneducated guesses.
Part of the storyline is that Joey has to move out of the alcove.
Right. Well, that's the thing is this feels like an episode that comes before
Joey's place.
The Joey thing. Mm-hmm. And that it kind of starts setting up what happens in the next episode where Joey's off and, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more of the we don't need you.
Right. So I think they just aired them out of order, or they aired this one. They aired them in a different order than you guys recorded them.
Yeah.
Which is not uncommon. It's not unheard of.
No, but I think because of that, I think that was one of those big continuity,
This is a big one. This is a big continuity.
Yeah, because it literally wasn't the last episode. 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, so recent. It's very
recent
and jarring. Anyway,
and it was very jarring. It took me out of
what garage is this? Who's
right?
What? Yeah.
It was, between that and then suddenly I appear, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I was
what universe am I?
We have gone. Yeah, I thought maybe we were in the Gibbler's basement. I didn't know.
You never know. So DJ and Kimmy walk downstairs and DJ asks if Kimmy wants to stay for dinner. Kimmy, who is placing her trapper keeper in the basket of her bicycle.
Yes. Trapper keeper
maybe.
For the win.
I already have so many questions about this. Why do I need a bike? I live next door. Can't I just walk? And isn't the fence in the backyard? I have no idea why we're in the garage or why I need a bike. It's what, 4 feet away. I'm also 4 feet tall. I don't know why.
Maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe you were going somewhere else.
Trying to find another family
another family to leech off of. Maybe you were going, I don't know, somewhere that had a better dinner coming. I don't know. I don't know what Kimmy Gibbler's up to.
I don't know.
But I know that she is dressed in all yellow. That's all I know.
I am a vision. I am a vision in yellow. Not a nice vision, but I am a vision of head to toe in yellow including a headband.
Yellow pants, and it was it was like a almost a hand knit sweater. It looked like.
Yeah, it did look very ugly and hand knit, and that hue of yellow combined with whatever color my hair was that week.
Yeah,
because they had to dye my hair
sort of a yellow color.
Well, it was more reddish. Okay, in the first episode I was in, it was darker. Back in the back to school episode, they dyed it darker, but this episode it looks like they dyed it redder. So I don't know what
we were still figuring out Kimmy. What
conversations were like. Yeah, is she going to be a redhead? Is she going to be a brunette? We don't know. As long as she's not a blonde tanner,
right? I think we were trying to differentiate you from the 3 blonde tanners.
Right. So I don't know. I'm curious to see when I appear again and what color my hair is.
Maybe you were going to get your hair done. Maybe you were going to get your hair dyed, and you were like, "Let me take my trapper keeper and my bicycle with me to the hair salon."
Kimmy Gibbler is so resourceful.
She really is.
Okay, so Kimmy says, maybe I'll stay for dinner. She said, but what are you having? And DJ responds that Joey is cooking something in an earth tone, which that's all my kids eat, are things in like bland earth tones.
Beige.
Beige.
Right, very
right.
beige. Yeah.
But hey, at least he's cooking. So,
it's true.
Kimmy should be a little more grateful. So Kimmy says, pass, but if my dog Sinbad is hungry, I'll send him over. I think this is the one and only reference to Sinbad.
Well, it didn't end well for Sinbad with the ostrich. I'm just saying, I don't know if you've ever seen an ostrich, a full-size ostrich, and a dog interact. It's not great. So
no,
I think
the ostrich won,
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah, the dinosaur, of course, is going to win. Or Sinbad never had a chance.
I'm so curious what type of dog Sinbad was. But anyways, Stephanie appears on the stairs and says, don't do that. I love Sinbad. Like, hey, Sinbad is very popular in the Tanner house, apparently.
Yeah.
So DJ is annoyed that Stephanie keeps following them around. Why do you keep following us? She asks. Stephanie responds, because you keep leaving me. DJ promises that she will have a sisterly chat with Stephanie just as soon as Kimmy leaves. As Stephanie starts to exit, we hear a noise that resembles an animal wailing. Stephanie runs back into the room, claiming that she heard a monster. DJ tells her there's nothing to worry about. And Kimmy responds, although you do look like that kid in Poltergeist who got sucked up in the TV and said, they're back.
The way you delivered that line, by the way, was so it was
terrifying.
Obnoxious next door neighbor. It was great. You were like, and then you're gonna. It was like the kid that's like, and then you're gonna get chopped to pieces, and then it was so hilarious.
Oh,
and
man.
I was just like,
I was just selling it. I terrified myself. Fun fact: I auditioned for Poltergeist. That's how old I am. I auditioned for the little girl in Poltergeist back in 1982. I was 6 years old.
oh my god.
And my older brother, Justin, auditioned for the role of the boy, the older brother.
Whoa.
And when he went into the audition room, he screamed so loud that everyone in the waiting room stopped, including like the secretaries. They were like, everybody like put down their, their computers or whatever. And they were just like, what the heck is going on? And Justin comes bopping out of the room. He's just like, how'd I do, Mom? He had no idea.
Terrified everyone. I mean, that's the point of a
room.
horror movie, though.
Right. I can't believe he or I weren't cast immediately after that. So.
First of all, I didn't know that Justin ever auditioned for stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
My brothers were child actors for like at least a month. Like they tried it out.
They tried it and they were like, nope.
They were like, forget about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't know that. Wow. I mean, lucky for you, because didn't everyone that worked on that movie like wind up dying in some weird, tragic sort of way? So
I think that movie was cursed in more than one way.
Yeah.
So
see, you went from cursed movie to, the power of Full House, which has made us never age and still be here 700 years later.
This explains a lot about my background. My therapist will have a field day with this information.
Caroline, go to the light, Caroline. Sorry.
So, yes, I love this. I love this bit, not just because of my terrifying delivery, but because this is like our first Kimmy-Stephanie interaction, like the teasing of each other, like throwing some shade at each other. It's the beginning of our frenemy ship.
It's the origin of the frenemy.
This is our origin story here.
Yep. A lot of origin stories here in the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day to the things I wish would die, like buffets.
People actually take little tastes along the way with their fingers.
Oh,
They do? Oh, Mo, I'm so sorry. Do you need a minute?
this is the only interview where I've needed a spit bucket.
I'm so sorry.
We'll tell you about the singer who helped define cool and the sports world's very first superstar.
To call Jim Thorpe the greatest athlete in American history is not a stretch, because no athlete before or since has done what he did.
Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, Katie, rapid fire. What do you think about when you think about Black storytelling?
Joy.
History.
Toni Morrison.
Long novels.
Zines.
Very complex stories.
BET Awards.
Hood motifs.
Unreliable narrators.
Absurdity.
Movie night.
People yelling at the screen.
Reciting Maya Angelou's poetry for poetry competitions.
Saying lines that you know from a movie that you've seen a million times already in tandem with the person in the movie.
Ooh, or saying lines in your normal conversations that you got from TV.
Yeah, obviously, it's hard to condense a story that's so expansive into such a small space.
It's cool, though. That's why we have the podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Eves.
And on Theme, we tell stories about Black stories.
Ooh, you're getting really meta there, Katie. Listen to On Theme on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your career is your most valuable asset. Imagine powering it with the unvarnished advice of the most successful chief executives in the world. I'm Mike Steib, a 3-time CEO, Fortune 500 board leader, and author of the top-selling career guide, The Career Manifesto. On my new show, Office Hours, I sit down with the leaders shaping our world, from unicorn founders to battle-tested executives, to share the answers to the most important questions you face in your work and to help you be the CEO of your own career. No script, no spin, just straight from the gut answers to your questions from chief executives ranging from visionary founder Tommy Hilfiger to New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, and our honest advice for achieving the career you've imagined. Submit your own questions by calling today at 213-419-0596. Listen to Office Hours with Mike Steib on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So we cut to the kitchen where Joey is cooking dinner, and he's pretending to be a hibachi chef for Michelle, who's watching and laughing. Joey does the voices and pretends that the peppermills are hibachi knives, and Jesse enters the kitchen in his exterminator jumpsuit and exchanges some
to thankfully
hibachi-like
get us
grunts.
out of that terrible joke that didn't age well.
I'm like, let's move on. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
So they exchange some pleasantries, and Joey mentions that someone named Brianna called for Jesse. Another A name, Brianna.
Oh my God, Brianna.
I'm telling you,
I want to look into. It feels like the psychology of whoever is picking the names. I wanna know, like, what is it about, like, girls with the NNA or like an A at the end of the name? Is it that they're diminutive? Is it that they're like I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to deep dive into that, but not right now. But
I would too. We're gonna have to ask Jeff Franklin sometime, and or maybe it's just
Jeff.
like,
what were you thinking when you named these women? I don't.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like the Spanish language, how like the feminine forms of words end with A.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe,
it's like it with A, like men sort of go like there's.
So maybe the men who are writing this show are just like, well, just slap an A on the end. That's a
slap
feminine
an A.
name.
That's a girl, right? Yeah, that's also very 80s. That sounds about right.
So Jesse explains that he terminated some of Brianna's termites, and Brianna wanted to thank him. So they came up with some ideas.
I'm pretty sure that you can't pay for exterminators with
relations.
Yeah, I feel like that's
not an even trade. I don't know.
Well, it depends on how bad the infestation is. You know what I mean? Really. Look, if maybe her termites were terrible and she's like, I will do anything. Right. And, you know, I mean, hey, just a guy with a giant cockroach on his back. That's, you know, that is, to me, I'm like, oh, God, that's what I think of when I'm like, just a giant cockroach on its back. On his back, rather. Well, both. Anyway.
I can't. Just stop talking. Like, because I can't with all the words coming out of your mouth right now. Like, there's so many things I can't say that are going through my mind right now. But you've said most of them.
You can. Just gonna have fun editing around us. Okay. Anyway, back to the cockroach and Brianna.
So thank God, DJ and Stephanie interrupt this story, and they enter from downstairs. They exclaim, "There's something horrible in the house." And Jesse, testing Joey's cooking with the spoon, responds, "You're telling me." So Danny enters the kitchen exclaiming that he has great news. Stephanie, who is relieved that he's home, hugs his leg.
Which, by the way, I am literally as tall as Bob's leg.
Yeah.
Like, not even up to his hip. Just grabbed right on, and it was like, hello. Like,
you didn't have to bend down or anything.
No,
you just grabbed
it was
right on.
Just right there. Yep.
he tries to walk with you attached to his leg. It's just like he's got like an extra leg. It's fantastic. DJ tells Danny that Stephanie thinks she heard a monster in the garage. But if you ask me, it was just a desperate plea for attention. Danny replies, DJ, stop watching Oprah and start doing your homework.
How many times have I said that?
So as the family sets the dinner table, Danny reminds everyone that he has some great news. Danny explains that all of the TV news stations are fighting for ratings, so his station is putting together a special promo about each of their newscasters, and Danny was picked to be first. The family responds not so enthusiastically. Then Danny announces that the entire family is going to be on TV with him, which prompts a huge cheer from everyone.
There's the excitement.
There we go. Everyone's
There's
selfish
the
and
self-centeredness.
focused. What's in it for me?
I mean, that is really how a family dinner goes, isn't it? You're like, hey, this is great for me. And they're like, and you're like, but you're going to get something too. Oh, sweet. Yeah, awesome. Right.
Yep. That's living with teenagers too, That's how they respond. So the family starts to eat, but they are quickly grossed out by Joey's cooking. They decide that they should send out for pizza, and Joey responds, it is pizza.
On
Joey.
what planet?
Well, I know. What kind of pizza is this that you eat with a spoon?
I've had a lot of pizza. I've had Chicago style. I've had, the flatbreads. I've never had spoon pizza.
Spoon pizza. Well, hey, it's a delicatessen by Joey Gladstone. Spoon pizza. So later that night, we are in DJ and Stephanie's room, and it's nighttime. Once again, we hear this monster noise. Stephanie sits up in bed and states, they're back. But now even DJ seems a little nervous about this noise. Steph asks if she can sleep in DJ's bed, and DJ agrees. Concerned that the monster is waiting under her bed to eat her feet, Stephanie concocts a plan to get over to DJ's bed by hopping on her toy chest, throwing DJ a jump rope, and having DJ reel her over to her bed.
I was so excited to do that. That was such a fun. I was like, yes, this is amazing. And also, the first thought when she's like, can I sleep in your bed? Immediately I was like, oh, but the monster under the bed. I was like, you can't jump out. And then she's like, but what if it's under? I was like, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Steph is thinking of all possibilibilities.
Yes.
And she's doing her own stunts. Like you need your stunt card.
I mean,
you're always doing
really
stunts in this bedroom too. You've moved from the curtain rod.
Tom Cruise would be nowhere without me. That's what I'm saying. Actors that became stunt people. That's it was
at the age of 5. It's very impressive. Yep. Very impressive. So DJ notes that Stephanie forgot to turn off the light, but right then they hear that monster noise again. Steph says, forget the light, run for your life. So the girls run out of the bedroom and into the hallway where they're screaming for help. Jesse comes out of his room to catch a running Stephanie, and Danny enters from the stairwell, which bumped me because where is Danny's bedroom?
Danny's bedroom has always been on the other... Right.
It's like where the camera POV. That's where I thought Danny's bedroom is.
Maybe... Well, again,
is it on the first floor?
Narnia of a house. It's maybe Danny wasn't asleep. Maybe it's not that late because the kids are, you know what I mean? Like maybe it was like 10 o'clock. Danny's watching. Wait, didn't he say he's doing something? He's like watching something or putting editings. Maybe, or maybe I just admitted that. But yeah, I feel like
he's carrying a book. Which I also thought was odd if it's like the middle of the night. So maybe he's downstairs.
I think it's.
reading.
I'm gonna go with it's like 10:30 when kids would be asleep for bedtime, but adults would be like, thank God they're asleep for bedtime and I can actually have some peace and quiet now.
Okay, I buy that. Let's go with that. So DJ asks Jesse to go get the monster since he's a creepy, crawly killer. And Jesse responds, I am a pest control specialist, thank you. Jesse, complaining that the exterminator never gets to be the hero in movies, goes into the girls' bedroom. Stephanie asks if she can sleep in Danny's bed tonight. But Danny is unsure about this. And then we flip to DJ and Stephanie's room. Danny is lying in DJ's bed, flanked by DJ and Stephanie on each side.
Yep. Been there. The scene made me really laugh. It was very funny.
Oh, it's so sweet. Danny says that Jesse declared the room is monster-free, so he's only going to stay until they fall asleep. The girls are mostly already asleep, and Danny reminds them that a nice woman is coming over tomorrow to shoot the promo and about their family. The girls are now fast asleep, and Danny attempts to extract himself from their tangled limbs. But he only gets more stuck, so he decides to just make do with it and sleep right there, Twister style.
I mean, I was laughing. I'm like, in my notes, I was like, every parent has done
the
ninja crawl where you're like sliding out of bed, and you
Don't
have to
wake
just
the
kind of
child.
don't wake the child, and then
Yeah.
you just kind of like stop because they start when you're like, I have fallen asleep in the weirdest positions on the floor of my kids' bedrooms when they were little. Just such a mess.
It's very relatable because sleep is such a precious commodity
Right,
when you
and
got
you're
young
just
kids.
like,
you're just like,
yeah,
I'll
and
do
you're like,
anything.
you know what? I will sleep like fine, like Danny does. He's just like, I'm just gonna lean over and sleep on a a pound puppy or something that he puts under his head.
Toy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, I get it. I get it. You
And-
gotta sleep however possible.
We see the cute little Red Lips phone from
Oh.
DJ's when she's on the phone. It's like sitting there.
Oh
in the background.
yeah. Oh, that phone.
I love
is
that.
So
phone.
iconic.
The lip phone. Yep.
Love that phone. I need to get that phone. So the next day, Joey and Jesse are changing Michelle in the bathroom, and they're practicing different hairstyles on her, like Madonna, Brigitte Nelson, Pebbles Flintstone. They ultimately decide that just a simple bow is the way to go.
Also, when they mention Brigitte Wilson,
Mhm.
flash forward
Oh.
to didn't Dave do Surreal Life?
Yeah, with
And
Brigitte
live in the house
Nelson.
with Brigitte Nielsen.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is very
Foreshadowing. I feel like that's happened a
weird
few times where,
foreshadowing.
yeah. Yep.
Like unplanned foreshadow. Like they didn't mean to foreshadow, but yeah, you're right. It's this
Right.
weird time warp. This Full House time
I'm telling
warp.
you, it's some sort of weird like manifestation wheel of time thing going on with this house. I'm going with that now. I'm gonna create a whole backstory.
I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon with you,
And it's
because I
why the
believe it.
Tanners have aged so well. It's like
Yeah.
it's just
It's it's the fountain of youth and a time warp and a
Yep,
Narnia
yep.
closet, like all of it just wrapped into
Mhm.
one big
Yes.
house. Wow.
This is my new fanfic. I'll be posting it online. Thanks.
So Jesse and Joey ultimately decide that just a simple bow is the way to go. Jesse holds Michelle's hair in a ponytail while Joey ties the bow, but of course Joey gets Jesse's finger trapped in the bow. And Michelle, in an unscripted moment, shakes her head no and then grins the biggest, cutest grin.
I started being like, oh, I get why people must have fallen in love with. Like they were just so giggly and fun and cute. Although I think a lot of the ones we've seen so far have been Mary Kate.
Oh, she was
I want to call her by the name that I called her when she was little.
What'd you call her when she was
call
little?
her remember we used to call her Cato Bird.
Cato Bird. I don't remember
Cato
this.
Bird. Yeah, yeah.
What is that a reference to?
I don't
You
know.
don't even know.
You
It's just a thing.
it was just a thing. We're like, hey, Cato. Like Mary Kate became Mary Cato, and then like Cato Bird. I don't know.
Candace, is that where the Candace Candace thing came from too?
You know,
let's just
weird,
mispronounce everyone's names.
The weird
Kate.
family nicknames that you have for each other, Mud and whatever.
Okay,
but yeah, Cato Bird. I just
Cato
remember when
Bird.
she was little. That was
Oh,
And
but you're right.
Probably came from John or something.
Yeah, it's a little nickname.
Yeah.
But
she was she's so cute and giggly, and like these little unscripted moments that keep happening are just.
I can see why the audience fell in love with her. Back in the day when we were 10 and 5, we were like, oh, what's the big deal about this baby? Like babies weren't interesting or cool to us at that age.
I love
but I can see why the audience was like, oh.
Well, we were also usually off stage, and it was more so like, oh, you know, when you're 5 and 10, you're like, can't the baby do the thing?
Right, just waiting around for the baby to cooperate.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
But I'm falling for it. Like I'm
Team
I'm
Michelle.
a sucker.
I'm a sucker for
too.
a cute little baby.
I get it. So at this moment, we hear the monster noise again, and Jesse says, I have to hear where it's coming from. Be quiet.
It sounds like a baby werewolf, sort of.
It's a weird noise. I don't even know how to describe it.
Is it what a ferret makes?
Well, it must be. Or I don't know.
Right, because sticking to truth is something that we've done on this show forever. Right. It's got to be. That has to be the sound.
That must be the sound. I mean, I'm not very educated on ferret language, but yeah, that must be, I don't know.
I'm going to look this up.
Okay.
And
okay, you look this up. I'll continue
I feel like
recap.
the ferret, though, it's like the little magical, it's sort of like the magical elf thing of the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If this house is Narnia, the ferret is the little animal that is possessed by something. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You're really
I'm telling you, I'm going for this whole fanfic thing. I am
hanging on to this theory. Yes, you're going
It's Halloween.
deep.
I'm excited.
You're right. It's that time of year. So Jesse walks over to one of the air vents on the wall. He kneels down and listens, and he determines that it's a North American silver-footed ferret, adult male, 2.5 pounds. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, very specific.
He is a pest control specialist indeed.
He is.
I see why Brianna was like, take me now. I mean, I can only imagine what he did with the termites, you know?
Moving on. So he runs out of the bathroom. Joey puts Michelle back on the changing table and shows her reflection in a mirror. And Michelle beams at the sight of her own reflection. It's just so cute.
Right?
It's so cute. You can't write this stuff. The baby just does it. The baby performs or doesn't. And she was performing.
To be a baby and just beam when you look in the mirror.
I know.
Those days
so
are gone.
Proud of herself.
Oh, wow. That's, Okay.
So the doorbell rings in the living room, and Jesse is rushing downstairs on his way to the garage to find the ferret monster. DJ and Stephanie answer the door, and we meet the TV lady who is there to film Danny's promo. And Jodie, your blue sweater here, I don't know what's on. Is this a skunk?
It's a skunk.
Or it's a skunk.
It's a skunk.
Okay.
And it says, handle with care.
Oh, it's one of those 3D sweaters again.
It's another 3D sweater. It's amazing. And it says handle with care. And I really feel like we need to get Dave an adult size sweatshirt of that skunk that says handle with care on it.
Yes.
Because if anyone needs a sweatshirt like that, it's Dave Coulier.
Yeah, the odiferous Dave Coulier.
Ooh. I'm going 27 on that one. That's a 27. Odiferous?
You come to How Rude Tanneritos.
Wow.
You walk away with a language lesson, semantics, and
you
everything.
Come to learn about the show. You leave with an English degree, thanks to Andrea Barber. Right? Yeah. Here we go.
So the TV lady asks the girls to smile, and then she asks her to hang up her coat, which DJ just sort of places on top of the playpen. And then the TV lady introduces herself as Ronnie, which is short for Veronica. DJ replies, I'm DJ, which is short for Donna Joe. And Stephanie says, I'm Stephanie. I'm just short. Which we saw earlier with you grabbing onto Bob's leg.
Right,
yes, very short.
I'm short.
So Ronnie continues to examine the house for good camera angles, and the girls follow her and copy her, like framing the shots, hand movements.
Right. That's what, if people are wondering, she's not trying to figure out which hand is her left.
Right.
She
the
is
distinction.
actually, she's looking at, that's something that is sort of a directory thing.
It's a directory
Directories don't necessarily do it, but they will sometimes be like, okay, if I want to see, whatever, but it's a very exaggerated sort of moment. But
it's kind of like the lighting
people
guys.
aren't like, she's not like, wait, which way is left? No, she's...
Yeah. And the lighting guys will do that too. They'll come in and they'll like hold equipment up, testing the light.
Greg used to do when he'd come over, he'd just come over and like kind of saunter up, like right as you're about to roll, and hold a thing over your face and
then squint up at the rafters.
Turn that up a little. Right.
All those memories. So next we're in the garage, and Jesse is digging around trying to locate the ferret monster, and he's wearing a catcher's mitt. Why? I don't know.
Right? I'm just saying.
I mean, the ferret isn't
for a ferret,
ball.
but also for a pest control specialist.
Oh.
I feel like, although I guess he's working with what he's got. He's on the he is trying to. I mean, you can't. When you're chasing a ferret,
there's no time to go to your truck or motorcycle and get your toolbox. No, you've got to
get a catcher's mitt and get that ferret.
So Joey comes downstairs and asks, who are you trying to catch? Phil Necro? And I looked this up. He was...
I'm going to say, is that a baseball catcher?
Yes. Not a catcher. He was a pitcher.
There you go.
He was an American baseball player for the Atlanta Braves, the Cleveland Indians, also the Yankees. He's generally regarded as the greatest knuckleball pitcher of all time.
Huh.
The more you know. All right.
The more you know. See? There you go.
So Jesse says he left his tools in the car. Oh, okay. So that explains the catcher
explanation.
All right.
Right.
Jesse left his tools in the car, but in order to catch a ferret, you must become one with the ferret. And Joey does a ferret impression. So they hear the ferret again, and Jesse runs around the garage. Joey asks Jesse, what are you going to do with the ferret? And Jesse...
But, by the way, incoming news, the ferret noise is not exactly... correct.
Oh, it's not?
According to our great and wonderful producer, Chrissy, she says the ferret noise is not exactly exact to the ones that she just listened to. So maybe some ferret out there makes this noise, but not most of them.
That's it. I want my money back. This show between the garage, Joey's place, and the ferret noise.
Now. If we're not having real ferret noises, I give up.
So Joey says, what are you going to do with the ferret? And Jesse replies, he's moving the ferret one step up into his spiritual enlightenment. Joey, who's worried about the fate of the ferret, slyly opens the garage door in an attempt to let the ferret escape. Then he starts singing Born Free, which is the theme song from a wildlife drama of the same name, 1966. There's all these references that I never got until I actually just looked them up.
Well, they're all references now that I realize that like our 30-year-old writing staff at the time was like, let's throw back to this. And now it's funny because, it's
old
what
news.
We are. It's old. Yeah.
Old news. So Jesse shakes off Joey and determines that the ferret escaped right into the crawl space. Jesse grabs a ladder and climbs up into the crawl space.
Crawl space? We're in the garage below the living room.
So where's the crawl space? You're right.
How are you getting into a crawl space?
Between the living room and the garage, there's like a secret compartment. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
I'm
not confused.
A thing. That's not a thing. I have questions and
we're not
also,
in the attic. They should have moved this scene to the attic.
Right?
That would have made more sense.
I was like, wait, is he crawling into the attic? No, we're in the basement or in the garage.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot going on here. Also, relatively clean because Jesse comes down with not a bit of dust on him.
Oh, true.
So somebody's been cleaning that crawl space, which makes me wonder, what's in the crawl space?
Yeah. Is that where Danny does his secret cleaning routines to fulfill that need? I don't know.
Where's Pam? I'm just saying.
Whoa. Wow. You
kidding.
went there.
I'm sorry. That was a terrible joke.
No. Let's go. Why not? We're on episode 12. Like, we can go there. We can go there now. We're grieving. We've done 12 episodes of grieving. Now we can make jokes about Pam. So Jesse, he's climbing into the crawl space. And Joey, who's still cheering for this ferret to escape, moves the ladder so that Jesse can't get down. He says that they need to have a talk, and then he tries to get Jesse to agree to release the ferret into a safe environment after he catches him. Jesse makes fun by saying he'll move him into a little ferret condo, and then he starts to climb down using Joey's shoulders. At this very moment, Stephanie, DJ, and Ronnie come down to the garage to find Jesse upside down, hanging from the crawl space and using Joey's shoulders as support. Hello, they both say simultaneously, and Ronnie responds, I'm in trouble. Boy, is she. If this is who she has to work with.
Right?
She's in trouble.
But I was wondering, though, how was Jesse planning on getting down? Because it's not going to work out well. The ladder's got to come back.
Why is
Ronnie saying she's in trouble? I mean, I feel like...
They're bozos.
Because that's never worked out in the history of television, to have idiots on television.
Hey.
Are you kidding? A TV producer would be thrilled. They'd be like, this is great.
This is content.
This is content. Right. Or maybe that's just like post real world reality TV.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day to the things I wish would die. Like buffets.
People actually take little tastes along the way with their fingers.
Oh.
They do? Oh, Mo, I'm so sorry. Do you need a minute?
This is the only interview where I've needed a spit bucket.
I'm so sorry.
We'll tell you about the singer who helped define cool and the sports world's very first superstar.
To call Jim Thorpe the greatest athlete in American history is not a stretch because no athlete before or since has done what he did.
Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, Katie, rapid fire. What do you think about when you think about Black storytelling?
Joy.
History.
Toni Morrison.
Long novels.
Zines.
Very complex stories.
BET Awards.
Hood motifs.
Unreliable narrators.
Absurdity.
Movie night.
People yelling at the screen.
Reciting Maya Angelou's poetry for poetry competitions.
Saying lines that you know from a movie that you've seen a million times already in tandem with the person in the movie.
Ooh, or saying lines in your normal conversations that you got from TV.
Yeah, obviously, it's hard to condense a story that's so expansive into such a small space.
It's cool, though. That's why we have the podcast. I'm Katie.
And I'm Eves.
And on Theme, we tell stories about Black stories.
Ooh, you're getting really meta there, Katie. Listen to On Theme on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your career is your most valuable asset. Imagine powering it with the unvarnished advice of the most successful chief executives in the world. I'm Mike Steib, a 3-time CEO, Fortune 500 board leader, and author of the top-selling career guide, The Career Manifesto. On my new show, Office Hours, I sit down with the leaders shaping our world, from unicorn founders to battle-tested executives, to share the answers to the most important questions you face in your work and to help you be the CEO of your own career. No script, no spin, just straight from the gut answers to your questions from chief executives ranging from visionary founder Tommy Hilfiger to New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, and our honest advice for achieving the career you've imagined. Submit your own questions by calling today at 213-419-0596. Listen to Office Hours with Mike Steib on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So we come back from a commercial break. We're in the living room where Ronnie is finishing setting up for the promo.
New kids. It's not new kids.
I have new kids on the brain. Sorry, I'm getting ready for the cruise, so I'm thinking I got Donnie Wahlberg on the brain. So Danny walks in from the front door, and Ronnie says, "Great, you're here. Let's go." She is Miss No Nonsense,
right? Ronnie. Calm down.
She's a little high strung, I have to admit. Joey, who has been taking down the last planet from the alcove, tells Danny that Ronnie thought that he should move out. You know, I gotta admit, like I miss the alcove. Like seeing this again, like I miss
it looks
Joey
naked.
Bean.
I'm like,
naked.
I look at it and
it's
I go,
not right.
I liked it better with the mannequin.
Yeah, I miss Manny.
And I never thought I'd say that.
I miss the planets.
I miss Manny. I miss the potato head.
I miss the cot. I miss all of it.
Olive oil.
Yeah,
Popeye. The weird parrot. I miss it all.
I do too. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
So Joey says, this is fine, but Danny doesn't agree. He asks Ronnie, "Don't you think Joey is important?" Ronnie replies that Joey is essential because he's going to be holding the cue cards. I mean, it is an essential job.
I was going to say,
about that.
If you've ever had to do something, you need someone to hold the cue cards.
Yeah.
Very important.
Very important. Ronnie says that she's going to set Danny apart from the crowd. She's going to sell his family with class, style, and sophistication. Oh. She shoos Danny outside so he can make his entrance on camera. Ronnie yells, "Action!" and Danny enters and reads the cue cards. He says, "Ciao, family," which he questions immediately. Then Ronnie seats him on the couch and says, "Cue Da Vinci." Da Vinci is a very large white poodle who jumps into Danny's lap.
When the dog came, I was like, oh, a pre-comet faux dog.
It was adorable. I'm a poodle lover.
Right?
I've got a mini poodle of my own, so I was so excited
Very
to see
cute
this dog.
Adorable. Dog was very well focused on the trainer.
Whenever
I see animals now, they're like, you can just see them looking right to the left of the lens. Like,
they're like, "Where's my treat?"
Right. But very cute dog.
So cute.
But where did the dog run off to? Who did the dog run off to? When they're like, "Your dog is done," then the dog is.
Ronnie sends him away, and he just runs through the wall.
Well, he got in his cab, and he was like, "I'm out. See you later. Got my check. Got my day rate. See ya,
guys."
Right.
So DJ and Stephanie enter the room wearing matching long black skirts, white tops, pearl necklaces, and carrying string instruments, the violin and the cello.
I was so excited to carry that cello. I always wanted to play the cello.
I'm impressed with you. Like, you're very strong. You're carrying lots of large objects in these episodes, and now you're carrying a cello. I'm very, very impressed.
Thank you. It's
it's all your hit workouts you did at the age of 5.
I mean, it was, all the stunt work I did really, it built up my upper body strength, when you've got to suspend yourself from curtains and reel yourself across on a toy chest.
That's a lot of upper body strength.
You build up the guns,
So DJ and Stephanie speak informal, awkward language like, "Oh, Father, how excellent to see you.
Papa.
And we miss you, Papa." Papa is so funny.
I think I remember Brian Cale giving me like a note.
He did?
Because I think I was saying, "Yes, Papa." And he was like, no, do it like Papa. And I was like, okay. Any excuse to be ridiculous and fancy. So that,
that was
very
great
into
note.
the pronouncement.
Great note and a great pronunciation.
Right? Yeah. And diction, very important.
Oh, the diction. A+ diction
Papa.
here.
Yeah.
Papa. Ronnie cues the housekeeper, and in walks Jesse, wearing a tuxedo vest and carrying a silver tea tray. "Tea time for the Tanners," he says with a fake British accent. He offers tea to the girls and says, "Buffy? Jodie? What?
Do you know what that's from?
No.
Buffy and
know.
Jodie were two characters on 8 is Enough.
Oh.
One of the characters was named Jodie, and they would. There was also like a whole thing like, "Good night, Jodie. Good night, Buffy. Good night, whatever." But that was a joke that they made a lot because they could say my name.
Yeah. Okay.
But as a character name, and if you watch John say Buffy, Jodie, I like get so giggly because I'm like, "This is my real name." Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's
right.
He's doing something wrong. He's calling you by your real name, not by your character name.
And by the way, I have not, as I've been watching these, I have noticed like how much I'm just like, what's going on over there by those cameras? Okay.
Just not paying attention.
Well, no, I'm paying attention to everything as usual, and so I'm like, just what's up? What are they doing? I can constantly see myself looking offset. It's very funny.
Oh, Jodie. Oh, Jodie.
Yes.
So Joey says, now you know why I didn't fight too hard to stay in this thing. Danny asks, okay, what does any of this have to do with my family? Ronnie ignores him and cues the baby Michelle. In walks a child who is definitely not Michelle. She's about she's 3 or 4 years old. She's got dark hair, and she says, "Hi,
She's
Daddy."
Asian.
Yes,
she does. It was. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. That is not Michelle, but she's wearing the same outfit as you and DJ. Like she's dressed the same with the pearls and the long skirt. You know, there's definitely like a triplet thing happening here. So naturally, Danny is confused, and he's like, "Who is this child?"
Yeah, I would also be like, "I'm sorry, I don't what."
And Ronnie replies that the girl is playing the role of Danny's adopted daughter. "We thought it would be great for your image," she says, and Danny sends the little girl back into the kitchen
because adoptees are props. Really?
Really? You know, like this Ronnie.
As one, I was like,
yeah, this is a lot of work that she has put into this fake promo.
Ronnie is,
you know?
I don't know, Ronnie is doing some things.
Yeah,
I don't know how Ronnie got this job in the first place because she's not really great at it.
Not impressed with her. No. And Danny asks the guys, he's like, "Why are you going along with this charade?" And Jesse responds that they knew the promo was very important to him, so they wanted to play along. Ronnie explains that television news is very competitive and you got to do something different. Danny stands up for himself and says he is proud of who they are. He has a loving family and friends who are willing to do anything to help out. He states that he's going to direct this thing himself while Ronnie gets to hold the cue cards. Ha! Take that, Ronnie. After the commercial break, it's later that night. And wait a minute.
And we haven't gotten there yet.
No, I'm out of order.
Oh no, wait, no, we're right. We come back from she makes the pouty face with the cue card. She's like womp womp. And then cut to commercial break. We come back and now we're watching the
now you're watching the promo.
It's intercut.
We're intercut.
Which means that we're watching the family in real time, and then we're cutting between what the family is seeing on the screen, which is when we go to different locations.
Yeah. That's it. That's where I was confused. I'm like, where are we? Is it
intercut?
The old intercut. I love a good intercut. Yes.
Right. And Kimmy's there.
And I was
watching
invited.
The promo.
Yes. Gibbler is there watching the promo with the family. I don't know why I'm there. I don't have any lines, but I'm just excited
because
to be
you were
included.
Probably legally required to be in at least 2 scenes to get paid for the week. No.
Right. Exactly. That's what it is. They're like, let's just throw her in
like,
I
don't know, sit her there.
Yeah. Put her there. Don't give her lines, but just put her there. So we're watching the promo on the Tanner TV. Danny walks in the front door. Danny goes to the girls' room where they're doing their homework at that tiny table. And the girls are wearing these Giants baseball caps and smiling cutely at the camera.
Wonder how much those are worth.
Yeah, right. Like
$700.
Put those on eBay.
And the banners, the little felt banners.
Oh yeah, they had the little pennants or whatever they're called.
Was this show? Were we sponsored by the San Francisco Giants?
I'm wondering. There's a lot of merch.
Good Lord. I mean, we really lean into the San Francisco of it. Now I get why the show is so, it's, Full House.
It's everywhere you look.
Treat.
It's the Giants are everywhere you look in this show, at least. We're definitely in San Francisco. And the girls remind the audience to watch their dad do the sports at 4, 6, and 10, which is very late for him to be working, but that's okay. People need their sports.
Because we've never worked late with our kids before.
Oh, true.
Okay,
yeah, that's true. That's why he has Joey and Jesse. Yeah.
Biz. Yep.
It's very long working hours. Very long. Next, we're in Michelle's room. Jesse and Joey have Michelle on the changing table, and Danny makes introductions to the camera. And he says that Jesse has a rock band named Jesse Cochran and the Rippers.
We have I always just thought it was Jesse and the Rippers.
Well, I think it is.
Jesse Cochran. No, this is Jesse Cochran and the Rippers.
He does say that. So, and I think they dropped the Cochran when
for
John changed the
reasons.
name.
Right. Because Jesse Katsopoulos and the Rippers is just a mouthful. You know what I mean? That's just, nobody
it
needs
doesn't
that.
flow. It doesn't flow.
Yeah.
So I agree with that change. But
And I always felt like Cochran and Cockroach were just too similar.
Yeah.
Jesse Cockroach. I mean, that's what he should have gone with.
Jesse
Pest
Cockroach?
Control Company. Jesse Cockroach Cochran. You know what I mean?
He would have been booked solid, you know?
Yep.
Jesse and the Cockroaches. So Joey does a baby voice for Michelle, and DJ asks for a raise in her allowance. The family waves at the camera, and that's the promo. And back on the couch, the family, in real time, is applauding enthusiastically.
Yay.
Yay. DJ again asks for a raise in her allowance, and Stephanie says they might receive 18 letters tomorrow. Oops. Danny leads the family into the kitchen to celebrate with ice cream, but we hear the ferret again. Jesse runs over to the bay window where at last he retrieves this ferret, a white and gray, long, furry animal. Is this this must have been a real ferret. Like, I don't know where you rent one of these things, but like
Well, of course it was a real ferret. Did you think it was a fake ferret? It's not an animatronic ferret.
No, but like, who do you call to say, hey, animal trainer, just bring me your nearest ferret? You know, this is not it's not a dog
ferrets
or
are
a cat.
pets. That's the thing.
They are pets?
Yeah, well, not legally in California, but my neighbor across the street had a ferret when I was a kid, and they are stinky.
Ooh, I bet.
Terrible little creatures. They really aren't that great. They're rodents.
Yeah, they're like
I could be wrong.
hamsters.
Again, I'm going to go into my poor zoological fact here, but
okay.
they are rodents, little ferret things, you know, and minks are the female version, which we make coats out of. But yeah, they more than likely that ferret that's in the Tanner household is someone's pet, because I just don't think there's a large population of random wild ferrets running around San Francisco.
No.
It's probably I think it's someone's pet.
It's got to be someone's pet.
It's got to be someone's pet.
You know, rats are dirty and nobody wants to see a rat. You know, but a ferret's kind of cuddly.
Right, no one wants to see a rat, but a ferret is a more acceptable version of a rodent.
Okay.
But I have to say, the monster timeline of the ferret, like that B story was a little, and I may be, you know.
Oh no, tell me.
Wrong here. It was kind of, it felt like a payoff. You know what I mean? It felt like I was wondering, I was like, why did we write the ferret storyline?
I don't know. I mean, there was that physical comedy bit in the garage where, you know, Jesse's in the crawl space upside down. So maybe it was to have a funny bit between Joey and I don't know.
I guess.
It was weak.
Also,
I agree. It was a weak storyline.
Also, breaking news, according to our wonderful fact producer, Chrissy,
me.
ferrets aren't rodents.
Oh.
They're actually part of the weasel family.
Oh.
I
don't know if that's better or worse.
They don't meet the requirements for being a rodent, which includes having continuously growing incisors, which is why rats have to chew on things because their teeth constantly grow.
Wow.
Which I did not know
that.
Yeah.
You know a lot about random
I'm reading
animals.
from a fact. But I do know that that's why rats have to like chew on things because their teeth keep growing.
Interesting.
Which is why they bite pretty painfully. But yeah, weasels.
Weasels. All right.
But yeah, it just felt like a weird B storyline of like a loose weasel, you know?
Yeah, I thought it would come to a more dramatic ending of a weasel or the ferret chasing around the house or something, but no, he just lifts it out.
And to be honest, it really the timeline of it was the loose ferret and the weasel thing.
Yeah.
Really was the thing that threw us off with Joey's room. So I just feel like the weasel was an odd choice.
Yeah, it was an odd
But we did
choice.
have now two animals. We had a poodle and a poodle and a weasel. Or excuse me, a poodle and a ferret.
A poodle and a ferret. I love it. Just not your average animal with a ferret, and even the big standard poodle. You don't see those.
Yeah.
It's normally a joke dog, like but
Well, they're usually groomed
the prissy
ridiculously.
poodle. They're usually prissy.
Right.
This one was very fluffy. It was more like a doodle. In my opinion, but
it was Da Vinci the Doodle.
Da Vinci the Doodle. Oh, so cute, so cute.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
back to ferrets and
they get the
weasels.
ferret. Jesse promises Joey that he's going to take the ferret to Big Sur and set him free in a safe way. Joey is relieved, and the guys exit to the kitchen while once again singing "Born Free as the wind blows."
So,
and that's our show.
Jesse picks up this thing with no gloves.
Yes.
And takes it into the kitchen where they're eating dinner.
Yes. Well, the catcher's mitt is probably back down in the
Mr.
garage.
Pest Control Specialist is playing fast and loose here.
He is.
With an unknown, potentially rabid ferret.
You know, I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him as my pest control specialist. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much pests he's controlling, but he's doing a lot of other things on the job. So maybe the ferret's the least of his problems.
He's just trying to get the women. He just wants to
exactly.
exterminate these women's houses so then he can have a date.
There
That's
you
the
go.
purpose of his job. Oh, Jesse.
Oh boy. Well,
Everywhere you look. Tell us what do you have an everywhere you look moment?
Well, I had an everywhere you look moment. But it's not one that we sort of haven't had before.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
Which is everywhere you look, Joey is again wearing double swatch watches.
Oh, he is? Oh.
He's
so
again wearing double swatches.
He's very committed to that look. It's a part of his geometric shaped shirt, cartoon shirts.
Right. Look at me. I'm so wacky. I've got 2 watches.
Okay. Well, hey, he can pull it off. He's the one character that really can pull it off.
That was the everywhere you look moment for me.
Okay.
And what else? What was the other?
I've got one, and it blew my mind. I don't even think you noticed.
John's pronunciation of senor is hilarious because he keeps calling it senior ferret. So it's just an old ferret. He's like senior ferret.
And it's supposed to be senor.
It's supposed to be senor ferret, but he's like senior ferret. And
Where
I'm
is
like,
Brian
as opposed
Cale?
to junior ferret, right? Or sophomore ferret, right?
And I can just see Brian Cale chasing after John, trying to get him to pronounce it the right way. And John's just like, I don't know. He's not listening to him. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Right. Well, my everywhere you look moment, I was very excited about this. Okay, so Jodie, the sweatshirt that you're wearing in the last scene when we're all watching the promo on the couch.
Right. With the little like TVs on it.
Yes. I wore that sweatshirt in episode 3, Back to School, or the first day of school. Kimmy was wearing that.
Oh my God.
And you're wearing the exact same sweatshirt.
In the next I think in the next episode, I'm wearing a repeat of something. This was, again, the first 12 episodes, we were probably reusing wardrobe because
you're on a budget.
We didn't get picked up for a full season. So it was like Real People where you actually have to wear things repeatedly, like a normal house. But I didn't know that was your sweatshirt.
It was
because
my
I was thinking,
sweatshirt.
I was wearing it and I was like, it's so cute on Steph. Like it's all big and baggy and very, now I know why, because it was yours. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Kimmy.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I think I wore that. And then I went and looked. I went back to episode 3 and looked, and I'm like, yep, that is the exact same sweatshirt.
Well,
sharing clothes from an early age.
Maybe, Kimmy and Steph, she was like, hey, can I borrow your sweatshirt? Or maybe she stole it.
She probably stole it. I mean, remember, this is the start of our frenemy-ship. So I think
true. Maybe you know what?
We were close enough to share
Steph
shirts.
borrowed it. She was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then she spilled something on it and ruined it.
cream.
And then Kimmy, and that was right. Yeah. And that was like part of it too. It was like this little kid.
Kid spilling stuff on my sweatshirt. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's it. Origin story of the frenemy-ship right here, people.
It all started with a sweatshirt.
So not a bad episode. Not a bad episode. The A storyline was great.
Our very first promo.
Yeah.
I don't know that we ever had our very second promo, but our very first one went pretty well.
It went pretty well. Pretty well. Yeah, not bad. I'm glad Danny took over and didn't let Ronnie run the show.
No, Ronnie, and I gotta say, Ronnie is coming into a house. You could have played the sympathy card with the mom gone.
Yes. Why didn't she do that?
Lean into the emotion and the story, Ronnie.
Yeah, nope. Instead, she's buying costumes and hiring little child actors to play Michelle.
I feel like she was. I don't think Ronnie made it very long at Channel 8 after that. I think they were like, you know what, you are just not getting the vibe, Ronnie.
Yeah. Well, maybe this is setting up for Wake Up San Francisco next season or whenever that is.
Right.
With Becky and Danny.
Right.
That's Ronnie never would have gotten that job. She's terrible at her job.
No, but this is where San Francisco fell in love with Danny Tanner.
Aww.
And that's how he wound up on Wake Up San Francisco.
Aww.
Yeah.
I buy that.
Figuring it all out.
I buy
put the pieces together.
Wow. We've put a lot together this episode. We
have.
We have a lot of explanations. Maybe they're correct. Maybe they're not. Does it matter? No, doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It can be whatever we want it to be.
Yeah.
Just like the size of the backyard.
Exactly. Our shape-shifting opinions.
Yes.
To go with
yes,
the shape-shifting
exactly.
backyard.
Yes. Well, AB,
Jodie,
it's been a pleasure
Yes.
doing our first promo. And it was so exciting to finally see Kimmy back in another episode. Because
thank
you're not
God.
in that many in this first
No.
these first
I'm
season.
only in 5 total in season 1. So now we've knocked out 2 of them.
But you made it so worth it with your delivery of the poltergeist line.
They're
so.
back. I do. Yes,
Right.
I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna call you in the middle of the night. They're back.
Like, oh God, no, not again. Yeah. All right. Well, and we will be back next week for another episode. But in the meantime, if you have comments, suggestions, fanfic, Narnia related ideas, feel free to go ahead and email us at howrudepodcast@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at howrudepod. And make sure you leave comments, make sure you're subscribing, follow the podcast. We love having you guys here. We're so excited that we get to do this every week. And it's so much fun. And remember, ferrets aren't rodents, they're weasels.
Weasels.
Yep.
If you take nothing else away from this episode, take away the fact that ferrets are weasels.
Yep. And
Fun
the word
fact.
odiferous. There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
with that,
an educational podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, you're welcome, guys. You are welcome. And remember, the world is big. The world is small. Not the world is big. See, I was telling myself that. Remember, I did.
Came up with this. You came up with this phrase, and now you're botching
And you
it.
think that means I remember something? I appreciate your confidence in me, but yeah, no.
All right, take 2.
Well, take 2. Ready?
Take 2. Yes.
The world is small, but the house is full?
Yes, that's it. You did it. You did it. Yay,
There we
Jodie
go.
Sweeten.
Are you sure? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Does
the
it
world.
make sense?
The world. It's a small world. The world is small, but the house is full, like full of people and full of love.
Because it's small.
I don't know. You made it up. I thought you knew what the meaning was. I like it though. I think
Until next week, we'll be
Tanneritos
arguing about the meaning of this and so many other things. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you guys next time on How Rude, Tanneritos.
Adios, Fanneritos.
On his new podcast, 6 Degrees with Kevin Bacon, join Kevin for inspiring conversations with his friends and fellow celebrities who are working to make a difference in the world, like actor Mark Ruffalo.
You know, I found myself moving upstate in the middle of this fracking fight, and I'm trying to raise kids there. And my neighbor's like willing to poison my water.
Listen to 6 Degrees with Kevin Bacon on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day to the things I wish would die, like buffets. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Hillary Clinton, back with a new season of my podcast, You and Me Both. On this show, I'll be talking to people I admire about one of my favorite subjects, getting things done. We'll hear from folks in positions of power like Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, but also writers and actors and really anyone who keeps doing the work. So please join me. Listen to You and Me Both on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.